Is this Samsung's best good lock app? It's number 2. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. This is the number 2 best good lock app. We've been counting down to the number 1. And this is our second favorite, Home Up. Pretty debatable. This could be number 1, to be honest, because it's brought a lot of good things, especially this year in 2025. But the number 1 app, I love it more than this one. So we'll get to that in another video. But Home Up is number 2. Let's go through what you can do in here because there's a lot. This is a massive app and can change pretty much your entire way of using your phone. Starting with the home screen, the first one. And there's so much in here. Like, it is packed full of stuff. You can see here you can use, there's basic operation and style. There's a home screen section. There's something called hot seat. There's app screen and there's a folder. So these are all sort of toggles that you can change and activate to do different things. Starting with the basic one, the use settings on the dialog on the home screen just means that you can access the Home Up settings from the home screen. So if I want to, I can pinch out there and there's Home Up, and it gives me a little quick menu that I can cycle through to add or change things regarding the home screen from a Home Up point of view. It's a shortcut basically. You can not have that if you want. You can turn that off, but just leave it on. Who cares? Then there's app icon setting. So this is where you can change the icon size of your apps, and you can go from 90% up to 105%. You can turn off the item label on both the home screen and the app screen should you wish. If you turn off the item label on the home screen, it just gives you that sort of cleaner look. Don't know if I like it. I think I like the home screen and the label on the app screen too, so I'm going to leave that. You've got the option to control the background blur. So when you bring up the app screen, you can have the blur rate cycle from 0 up to 100. So you can see that's got no blur now. Or if I turn that off, the blur remains. So, or you can control it with your own slider and have it be sort of blurred out very minimally compared to what it was by default. If you want to improve device performance, you can set it to 0% or just sort of scale it all the way down, because that will sort of save on graphical power, because it does obviously use a bit of graphical power to control that background blur. You can loop pages. Now you can loop pages on the home screen, and if you've got the app screen set to be horizontal swipe, you can do it as well. But basically, it just means I can keep swiping between all the cards as long as the Google Home media page is turned off. So if that's turned off, I can swipe through all the cards. But if it's turned on, that doesn't work. There's also the Finder access, where you can swipe down on the home screen to bring the Finder screen down. Definitely not turning that on. I like the fact that I can swipe down to bring my notifications as opposed to the Finder, because I can just hit search there. Much easier. Then we get into the home screen. This DIY home screen one is the big one. This is where you can literally customize everything on your home screen. So if I pinch out there and hit DIY, this is free. I can do whatever I want. There is no grid size or grid limit. I can make apps bigger. I can make apps smaller. I can turn them upside down if I want to. There is so much in here that you can do, and it's just absolutely free reign to do whatever it is that you want. Sometimes it might get a little bit too convoluted, but the fact is that you can do it. You can overlap things as well. Like if you want to have things sort of stacked on top of each other or sort of neatly stacked next to each other, you can. You can add in things like emojis or like little grids. So if I wanted to put a grid around an app or a group of apps, I could do that, and then that would sort of section them off almost like a frame. And then you can remove stuff if you want, but there's just absolutely free reign here to sort of add and customize to your absolute heart's content. It is wild, the amount of freedom that you have here. It's kind of cool. Now, you don't need to access DIY Home to do this. So if I exit out of here now and I just want to move something around, I can literally still move it with freedom, and it sort of gives you a couple of guides as to where things can go. So that's all part of it too, but you need to have DIY turned on for that to work. Then you've got the hide page indicator. So the indicator that shows you what page you're on, that is hidden to give you a bit more of a clean aesthetic. Again, that's a toggle you turn on here. Then you've got show favorites. So that's this down here. For some reason it's called hot seat, whatever. You can turn that off and the favorites will disappear. Turn it back on, favorites come back. Depending on your home screen preference, you can have that there. You can also have the apps button turned on, and then that apps button can sort of be freely moved around the screen. I've got it turned off in the main part of the settings. That's why it doesn't show up here. I can also customize the apps list for the cover screen column. So the app screen here, I've got 6 across, but you can literally have that up to 7. And that looks very tight. Or you can have it as little as 4. And that for me just looks too spaced out. So I think 6 for me is a nice looking thing. And you've also got horizontal scroll with alphabetical sort type. So if I wanted to have that be horizontal and alphabetical, you can turn that on in Good Lock and in Home Up. And you also got folder grids too. You've got a folder cover screen grid. You've got an icon grid for the folders that you can customize. You've got pop-up folder, and you can customize the size of the pop-up, and you can sort of centralize or sort of control where it pops up. So if I wanted to have a folder pop up right there, as opposed to central, the folder will also always open in the central if I want, or I can have it be in there. And depending on the number of items, the folder can be bigger as well. So the Google one will be bigger than the chat one because there's more items in it. Just a nice little way of controlling the size and the settings of how a pop-up folder works. And that's the home screen part of Home Up. One of the biggest, to be honest. You have backup and restore, which is next. Now, the backup and restore literally is just backing up your home screen. So if you use Home Up and you customize it with DIY Home, you might want to back that up. This is an option to do that. You just turn this on, gives you a frequency, and you can see the backups or the previous versions of the home screen that I've got, so you can go back and restore the previous layout that you had. Just a great option if you change something and you didn't like it, you can go back to the way it was before. You've got Task Changer. Now, this is the Recents app key that you've got there. Task Changer, if you turn this on, you can just change the style. So you've got tilted stack, you've got the grid. You can see the grid looks like that. You've got a vertical list, which is like that. And you've got a slim list, which is, I remember this was an option from ages ago, and that kind of gives you a bit more of an overview of what's open as opposed to what's open in them. So you can also have it a circular list. I don't know what that did. It still looks circular to me. And you can also have the search bar on the Recents app screen too, as opposed to it not being there. I think tilted stack is probably the one that I like the most. Within that, you have some other options as well. You've got mini mode, which makes it smaller and easier to use one-handed. And you also got center the currently running app, which will actually center the app that is open as opposed to going to the one that was open previously to it. Depending on what you like to do with the Recents key, that could be the way to do it. You've got the option to turn the app label off as well. I just leave it off. I like although it is pretty much the same, right? The tilted stack. What's the difference? It's the same. Anyway, I just leave it off. I like the stock one for me, but you can change it if you want. Next one in here is gesture settings. So this is one that I have shown off before, and it's amazing. This is where you can tune the home gesture animation, the app opening animation. You can tune the blur, the home gesture vibration. You've got gesture settings, so you can improve the gesture sensitivity, allow bottom gestures in full screen mode. Gesture top priority setting, when there's interference in the gesture in the app area, it will take advantage of the gesture priority. Whew, breathe. And then bottom gesture sensitivity settings. You can change the gesture sensitivity at the bottom. Wild that there's so many options in here. I want to first start with the big ones. That's the gesture emotion. So the home gesture animation tuning, you can go in here and there's classic, elegance, dynamic, sweet, simple tuning, and advanced tuning. Advanced tuning, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing in here. There is so many toggles and settings, and I just don't know what any of them does enough. And whilst I don't, doesn't mean you won't. And it's just basically showing you that this is a place where you can change things. And each thing will change different things. So the damping looks like it's changing the vibration from corner to corner. And there's stuff like stiffness and friction. And then you've got icon scale. Oh, sorry, here you go. Icon movement, icon scale, icon tracking position. You've got an interpolator for window alpha, like that's a thing. Wallpaper scaling, home screen scaling. It's just all there. There's so many. But if that's too overwhelming for you, like it is for me, Samsung give you some presets. Classic, which is just the classic home gesture. You've got elegance. It says, how about feeling as elegant as a butterfly? Sure, that looks elegant. You've got dynamic. This is the one that I use because it's just fast and swift. You've got sweet, which is basically just like a nice slow one. That's why I guess it's melting you away like cotton candy. And you've got simple tuning. And this is where you can actually, on a slider, go from fast to emotionally and somewhere in the middle. So if you have it set over here, it'll be a bit slower. Or if you have it set to be fast, well, that's just fast. There's no emotion to it. I like dynamic. That's my speed because it's just quick and closes nicely. Then you've got app open animation tuning. This is where you can, again, with advanced tuning, similar thing, window position, window alpha, icon alpha, wallpaper scaling, home screen scaling, and that all changes based on your toggles and sort of sliders. Again, too much for me, but if you know what you're doing, you can go in here and change everything to suit how you want it to be. Simple tuning, simple. You just choose the speed that you want. Do you want it to be very fast and then have it open very snappily? Or do you want it to be very slow where you can have it open? No one's got time for that. You can go somewhere like moderate, which gives you an opening animation that you can see, or you can just go up to like very fast and things happen very, very quickly and snappily should you want to. You got blur animation tuning. This is where you can sort of control the different blur effects for icons and wallpaper and the level. So you can have it be really thick. The thing is, because of how fast the animations are going, you honestly won't even notice the blur because it's just going too quickly for you. So for me, I just leave these off because of how fast everything is moving. There's no need to waste that extra bit of battery or performance. Then you got the vibration from the home gesture you can turn on as well, and you can feel it as you're doing it. The gesture settings, I haven't really figured out what these do. It says improve gesture sensitivity in the pay zone, where you can easily access recent app from the pay zone of the home screen. I'm assuming that's where Samsung Pay is. That is exactly what that is. I could have figured that out, honestly. Then you've got allow bottom gestures in full screen mode, where you've got games and videos on. Those bottom gestures can still work. Then you've got gesture top priority setting. When there's interference in the gesture in the app area, it will take advantage of the gesture priority. Again, these toggles, I just leave them on, but depending on your usage, you can come in here and change it. And you can change the different sensitivity levels of the gesture setting at the bottom too. And you can see on a slider that area that you can control depending on how you like to use it. Let's leave that off for me. And that's the gesture settings. Now this one here, taskbar, this is just for the fold. So I'm actually going to leave it because I have covered this in a fold setup video and you can go check that out. But if you're using any other Samsung with good lock, this won't be in here. So I'm just going to leave it to the side. Edge panel though, I'm not going to leave to the side because this is how I get my edge panels having more apps on it. So I can have the more favorite items without scrolling. So I can have all of those at the top shown. And then I can also scroll that section with that toggle turned on as well. And then I've got open apps in full screen and cover screen using the selected view type. I can decide how I want the edge panel apps to open up. So I've got full screen view, split screen view, and pop-up screen view. So this is how I get, with that toggle, I get these apps here, more favorites. With that toggle, I can scroll through recent apps, and then I can decide how I want the apps to open. I leave it in full screen view because it's very easy to drag things into a pop-up view should I want to, as opposed to just always opening it in pop-up, but it's there as an option should you want to. I leave my edge panel hidden, so this last toggle, head channel in immersive mode, doesn't need to exist. And then the last one is Share Manager. Share Manager is how you can actually control your share screen. So if you go into like a photo and you see the share menu, you can customize how this share menu works. So if I hit share, I can customize this whole thing. So let's go and show you what that does. We've got show direct share. So that's the direct share sort of line there. I can turn that off should I want to. And that means when I hit share, it just goes straight into sharing apps. I like to leave that on because sometimes I like the quick option that it gives me. I can also have quick share devices be put in here, show available devices on share panel. That's already one that's there in the main settings menu. And I can add a favorite direct share. So if I've got someone that I share to all the time, I can add them in as a favorite. And then that way, that's always going to be an option when I hit share. That will stay there permanently because it's someone I use all the time. It's my wife, I would hope so. And that is Home Up. That is all of the things you can do in here and all of the features that it enables. Two big ones for me, home screen, gesture settings, and then maybe edge panels as a third option. I also like what that does too, because that gives me more favorites there. So I reckon this is definitely one you will want to be using a lot because this gives you so many great features and it's all in here to use. Anyways, hit subscribe to SamMobile TV, number one, not too far away. Go check us out on our website and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.